Hey everyone, this is Miss Gregory. I wanted to make a really short video just to remind you really quickly of the 3 different resources that we looked at several weeks ago that you could use for your debate, for your research. So we went to 2 databases, Points of View and Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints, and then we went to one reputable website, procon.org. So don't forget, when you're in Schoology, go to your upper school students group and then click on resources. And don't forget that you have an upper school library folder that has a lot of information in it. So you're going to want this PDF file that shows you all of the different electronic resources that we have in the library this year. And I have recently updated it, so you'll want to look at it again. So in here is your link to Discus. So we're going to click on Discus. And I included a link just to show you the high school databases in Discus. And don't forget they're in alphabetical order. So the 2 that we looked at, Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints, and then also Points of View Reference Center. So I already opened these because I tried to make a first video, but everything took so long to open. The video was really long. So we're going to go Points of View first. And when we looked at that, remember we said you can type, of course, whatever search terms you want in the search bar there. But if you scroll down to the categories under crime and punishment here, they already have death penalty listed for you. So that's kind of easy. And don't forget, we talked about how sometimes databases use different terms to describe the same subject. So don't forget that the death penalty is also called capital punishment, and that's going to be important for the other database. So here you have an overview article, which is really important. It talks about different important terminology. And on the right-hand side, you have one point of view article, capital punishment should be abolished. Then you have the counterpoint to that. There's also a guide to critical analysis. If you're not really sure how people argue about this topic, that'll give you some really good ideas. And don't forget on the right, we talked about here's your citation button, cite. So you can just choose whichever citation method you're using, if it's APA, MLA, whatever. And don't forget the Google Drive integration. So the database will convert this article to a Google Doc automatically for you. So that's really cool too. So that, very briefly, that's Points of View Reference Center. And so the other one, don't forget, is Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints. If you click on that, it'll open in a new tab up here. So here's your home screen. And of course, again, you type whatever you want in the search bar. But if you scroll down, you also have categories arranged. For the sake of time, we're just going to type it in. And here's where it comes in handy. When you type in death penalty, you don't see any bold words. But if you type in, if you spell it correctly, capital punishment, there it is in bold. So that shows you that it's a topic in this database. And it's going to provide a lot more information for you in a more organized way. So when you click on that, here's an overview article, just like the other database. And then your articles or your information, they're arranged by what type of source. So just don't forget that viewpoint sources are valid, but they are biased. So they are going to be arguing one point of view or another. If you want something more neutral, you want to look at the reference sources. Those are going to be like encyclopedias. And don't forget, you also have infographics and images and even primary sources. And this database works just like the other one. We'll pretend like you want to read this overview article, so we'll open that up. You have your Google Drive integration feature. So again, it converts this document into a Google Doc, and then you can take notes and all kinds of stuff. This is really well organized, by the way. It's a great starting point. And at the bottom is your source citation, and you just pick whichever citation method you're using. So very simple. And then the third source is a website, procon.org. Here's the home page. And these topics are also arranged by categories. So under politics and society, that's where you're going to find the death penalty in this website. So that's another good point. Websites and databases sometimes use different organizational methods. You have to kind of search different ways. So you have the question here on the home page, and then you have a lot of good categories depending on what exactly you're arguing about the topic. And then on the right-hand side, pro-cons, pro-con arguments, historical timeline. And this website is unusual in that I believe it gives you the citation, which you should definitely take advantage of. You might have to scroll all the way down here. And there are comments, so you need to watch that. And then also, any information it puts on here, it cites it for you. So that's great. So those were the 3 Sources that we looked at: Points of View Reference Center, Gale and Context Opposing Viewpoints, and the website procon.org. So just let me know if you need any other help.